JBNN keep you informed. I'm Michelle Jones. Before we get into the news, please remember to like, subscribe, leave a comment, and to share the news with someone today. Now onto the news. Man fatally shot after opening fire in cops at Clarendon party. A man was fatally shot by the police during an alleged confrontation at a party in Longboard district in Uniontown, Clarendon, on Sunday morning. Police identified the man as Andre Ingram, 41, otherwise called Jazz, a resident of Uniontown. A police report said that at about 1:40 a.m., Ingram was at a permitted party in Longboard district, firing shots from a prohibited firearm. The police were alerted, and on their arrival at the entertainment event, Ingram reportedly opened fire at the cops. Police said evasive action was taken, and the gunfire was returned, at which point Ingram was shot and injured. Ingram was taken to the Percy General Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. The police said a Taurus 9mm pistol containing 7 live rounds and the bearing a serial number was seized. St. Andrew businessman charged with assault of nurse caught on video. A St. Andrew businessman has been slapped with multiple charges following a viral video that purportedly showed him beating a nurse in a road rage incident in the parish earlier this week. He has been identified as Robert Bell, 65, of a St. Andrew address. Bell has been charged with assault occasioning bodily harm, assault with intent to cause grievous bodily harm, assault of common law, possessing a firearm with intent to commit a first scheduled offense, and possession of a firearm with intent to cause injuries. The charges were laid against Bell on Saturday. Reports from the police are that on Tuesday, May 13, at about 7:15 p.m., the nurse was on her way to work when her vehicle was impeded by a vehicle driven by Bell. A dispute ensued between the two individuals, during which the woman was physically assaulted. A video of the incident that went viral on social media Thursday night shows a man brutally assaulting the nurse, including stomping on her head. A report was made to the police, and Bell was subsequently apprehended and taken into custody, where he was formally charged. His firearm was also seized. His court date is being finalized. Cops named several people being sought following a recent surge in violent incidents across communities within the St. Andrew South Division. The police are appealing to several individuals to immediately report to the Hunts Bay Criminal Investigations Branch. These people, who are from several communities in the division, are being asked to turn themselves in no later than 4 p.m. on Monday, May 19, 2025. The police said the individuals are either wanted for serious crimes or are persons of interest in ongoing investigations relating to murders and shootings. They are urged to report, accompanied by anyone of their choosing, a pastor, lawyer, justice of the peace, teacher, mother or father. They are Courtney Ashley, otherwise called Bloodstain of Fembrook Avenue, Kingston 20 address, who is wanted for murder. Sheldon Barrett of Melcoff Road, Kingston 13, who is a person of interest in a murder case. Kevin Harry, otherwise called Harry Potter of Brook Valley, Kingston 20, who is a person of interest in a murder case. Owen Laddie, otherwise called Max of Brook Valley, Kingston 20, and Rasta Lane, Bull Bay, Kingston, a person of interest in a murder and shooting. Dave King, otherwise called Breadback of 11 Grape Road, Kingston 11, person of interest in a murder and shooting. Avon Sutherland, otherwise called Tugs of 3 Latour Avenue, Ambrook Lane, Kingston 13, person of interest in a murder. Theo Smith, otherwise called Gilly of 41 Galloway Road, Kingston 13, a person of interest in a murder. Dwayne Pitcon, otherwise called Spoogie of 50 Pretoria Road, Kingston 13, person of interest in a murder. Jacoan Stevens, otherwise called Quan of Crescent Road, Kingston 13, person of interest in murder and shooting. Marcus Brissett, otherwise called Breezy of Kit Lane, Kingston 13, person of interest in murder and shooting. Omarion Lamard, otherwise called OG of Waltham Park Road, Kingston 13, person of interest in a murder. O'Neill Edwards, otherwise called Fuya 13 Kid Lane, Kingston 13, person of interest in a murder. Ramon Moody, otherwise called Percy of 43 Fitzgerald Avenue, Kingston 13, person of interest in a murder. Kevin Paisley, otherwise called Keke for Crescent, Kingston 13 address, person of interest in a murder. A man known as Pelpa of 15 Lane, Waltham Park Road, Kingston 13, person of interest in a murder. Grim, otherwise called Gremlin of Kid Lane, Kingston 13, person of interest in a murder. And Ricardo Moody, otherwise called Bloody Guns of Triplane, Penwood Road, Kingston 11, person of interest in a murder. The Jamaica Constabulary Force says it is committed to restoring peace and safety in the communities affected by crime and violence. About 40 Haitians landed in Portland. Approximately 40 Haitians landed at a beach near Ross Craig, Long Bay in Portland on Sunday. The group, which comprised men, women, and the children, including a baby, was picked up by the police, who were supported by members of the Jamaica Defense Force. The group was later transported to a holding near the Castle Police Station near Priestman's River in the parish, where the Haitians are to undergo screening and medical checkups. One Portland resident, Ewan Edwards, the owner of Irish Sustainable Seafood, said he provided some of the Haitians with juices and snacks after realizing that they were dehydrated and hungry.
This is Ewan Edwards, owner and operator of Irish Sustainable Seafood. When I was on my way to deliver some fish and I saw the police, the soldiers and some Asians. So I just pulled over to see what's happening. And then I saw like 6 or 7 men in the back of a police jeep. And then when I look, I saw one of the young men clutching a baby, no more than 2 or 3 years old. And honestly, my heart sunk immediately. So what I did, you know, the police kind of was like, get away from here, whatever. And I introduced myself to him and let him know I'm not here to harm you. I'm not here to give trouble, but I saw a child there and I'm a humanitarian. And when it comes to kids, they are my #1 priority. It doesn't matter whose kids they are. So what I did, I told him I'm gonna get something cold, refreshing for them to drink because, you know, they're probably there on the sea maybe 4 or 5 days, I don't know, maybe weeks. And I went to my shop and I grabbed some snacks and juice and water and stuff like that. And the kind police officer allowed me secretively to render the food to them. And that's what we're.
Residents claim that the 20-foot boat with a single engine attached came ashore the rocky terrain at Ross Craig shortly after 6 a.m. Sunday. Come with us, Ronnie Ben, as we explore the Garden Parish of St. Anne.
It was at this part of our rock back in 1494 that Columbus first set sights on Jamaica, hence the name Discovery Bay. The new occupiers of the land mimicked the locals and stayed on the coastline, creating Sevilla La Nueva.
We started with a history lesson, so please indulge me as I take you on a tour of scintillating St. Anne. Before the North-South Highway made it possible to travel from Kingston to St. Anne in 50 minutes, you had this road. Though not as popular as before, the Mount Rosser bypass is still a viable route to get to St. Anne. And between you and me, this is the more scenic route to the Garden Parish. Banana, and then you have banana. This rest stop at Faith's Pen is all you'll need to refuel on your way to Monique. It's home to 2 prominent training institutions, both of which have a shared history. It may not look like much now, since it was razed by fire in 2010, but this building was a mainstay around these parts. Built in 1890, the Monique Hotel was a rest stop for visitors to the Jamaican Great Exhibition of 1891. By World War II, it was taken over by the military, and in 1956, it became a college that also bore the name of the town. The old hotel is also linked to another location that's just off the main road, round the bend, at a place called Swamp.
I remember hearing from my late mother, who used to come down here in the 1930s, long before I was born, and she would go and water ski on the Monique Lakes. I mean, that's how high the water was in those days, and Monique was in fact a tourism center for Jamaica in those days. They would have tours from the hotel, which is now the college, and they'd go to the Manique Lakes and water ski.
In 2005, the lake swelled and engulfed parts of the community. Today, only 2 pools remain to tell the story of what happened back then, and life had seemingly returned to normal. Further down the road, round the bend, is Blue Hole at Riverhead in the parish. You can take a dip, cool off on its banks, or visit the nearby garden over the bridge. But be careful, this serene pool is 60 feet deep. This Blue Hole River is said to be the starting point of the White River. Locals say the water flows underground and reappear on the coast in Ocho We get back on the main road and head to Walkerswood, where Bromley Pen is located. This 18th century beauty is made of wood with cut stone foundation and has a wraparound veranda and sash windows. It's a private property, so we asked and were granted a tour by its owner.
Bromley was built, I believe, around the 1720s, and it's been converted over the years by different owners. My great-grandfather bought it in they say in the 1890s. He was a banana man from St. Mary, but he went into cattle, and it's been a cattle property, and not a great house. Historically, they're all called pens, but a lot of people don't want to have their house called a pen. Bromley was really just a little 2-bedroom house, and it's just been added on to. The veranda you see behind me was put on by my great-grandfather. But so we still have cattle here, but we started in the 70s local Caribbean foods, the jerk seasoning business. Recently, we have turned Bromley into a yoga retreat. It's become very popular, and we run yoga retreats from Thanksgiving time in America through until about May, June. We close down for hurricane season.
Here at Walkerswood, we produce jams, jellies, and of course, our traditional jerk seasonings. We have sauces, barbecue sauces, savory sauces, jerk sauces.
We could not come to St. Anne without visiting Fern Gully. This 3-mile stretch is home to over 300 species of fern, many of which are endemic to the island. If you follow the road, you'll get to Ocho Rios, the island's tourism mecca. There's lots to do, so be sure you go out there and enjoy this amazing parish.
JBN will keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.